should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Forever. I cannot ever get enough of that song. Guys, welcome. I'm your host, Linda Antwi. Welcome to 90 Day, the Melanated Way. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy Wednesday. It's hot, y'all. It's just hot. It's just hot. We're going to do some housekeeping before getting into the single life. I have to really build myself up to talking about Ed first and foremost. So let's jump into some housekeeping stuff first. Hey, Claire. Hey, girl. Hey. Y'all, we're expanding our shows. So 90 Day Fiance we're covering, as well as Love After Lockup. And we're also going to cover You, Me, and My Ex. Seems like all this relationship stuff is right on board just in time for the summer. If you guys want to support my show, you guys, there's many ways to support it. Right now, wherever you're watching, if you can hit a thumbs up or a like or any of that stuff, that will really help me. Doesn't cost a penny. Those of you that are so inclined, every dollar helps. You see at the bottom of your screen, it says support the 90 Day, the Melanated Way. I have my Cashapp, my Venmo, and my PayPal there. And as well, you guys, if you're totally into 90 days and you want to know a little bit about some news and gossip, some celebrity interviews, as well as some exclusives with the cast, definitely make sure to check out our Patreon. Patreon subscribers, some new ones. Chandra, Judy, Beth, welcome. Thank you for being with us. And day ones and Familia, Janice, Whit, Deb, Mason, Olivia, Vanessa, Trisha, Sandra, Carol, Trina, Danielle, Rebecca, Marianne, Nia, hey, Nia, hey, Ray Della, Linda, Brianna, Crystal, Nicole, Amanda, and Jaleesa, Donna over at Anchor FM. Thank you guys so much. What up, live chat? Hey, Better Days. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, Marissa. I think you might be new. Hey, Marissa. Welcome. You guys welcome Marissa to the live chat. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm hot, though. I'm hot. Temperature hot. And I got the AC blaring. Got fans blaring. It's just hot. Has it been hot where you guys are? Let me know in the live chat. Definitely let me know if you're watching the replay in the comments below. Let's get into the single life. So we're on episode 19. You make me want to Snoop. And hell yeah, you make me want to Snoop. So Ed and Liz, so they've been dating for 4 weeks, which I didn't really realize. I thought it was 4 days, really, because if you think about the number of dates they've been on, they went to a wedding, right? She came over to the house. Yeah, do you want us to do the poll? Yeah, do the poll. Do the poll, for sure, for sure. I have questions, but I also have a poll for my YouTube subscribers, just because I'm curious. But yeah, you guys, so they've been dating for weeks, and 2 weeks into it, Liz is his girlfriend. He's like, hey, listen, I want you to meet my daughter. And I'm just like, why does he warp speed ahead everything? I get you've been single for 28 years and you just want everyone to be your girlfriend, but I'm starting to see a pattern. The same pattern that he was rushing Rose with is the same pattern he's rushing Liz with, and he doesn't see it. He's the common denominator in all of this, and he just doesn't see it, and it's bizarre to me. So he goes into this, and you guys, you know me, I try to be super chill, Canadian vibes, or just chilling, but I'm getting a lot of, I don't know, just the way he talks. I think it's just too much for me. But he's like, we're getting along physically, and I love how Rose chews on my lips, and I love making us off the I don't need to know all that. I get it. It might have been a minute for you, so you want to verbalize that you're getting a little something, something. But it's unnecessary. We're all adults. We know what happens in relationships. So I don't need to know the itty gritties of your intimate relationship. I just think it's weird, and I don't think that anyone really wants to hear it from me. And I'm not saying it because it's Ed. I'm just saying it in general. Now, if it was Drake, no, just joking. So he really feels like Liz is the one for him, but we've heard this from him before. He thought Rose was the one for him, and take your time. You haven't even been together for a couple of months, and even if you've been together for a month, you've seen her maybe like 4 times. So like, just take a breath, slow your roll, and just like chill out. But no, that's not how he works. And, you know, I don't know if it's because he's older. I don't know if it's because like he kind of reeks of desperation a little bit because he just feels like he's not going to find the one and his clock is ticking. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, he always wants to like latch on. And he doesn't realize that in any relationship, people don't like you to latch on right quick when you're still just trying to get to know them. It's too much. But hey, let's go meet Tiffany, because that's a good idea. Let me introduce you to my family. So buys her a ticket to go to Vegas. I'm surprised that Liz agreed to go, but she does. And did you guys notice, this is a really weird thing about Ed in cars. Do you guys notice when he's sitting in the back seat, he never wears a seatbelt? I don't know how he gets away with it. Like, they'll stop you in a heartbeat for no seatbelt. And it's like a 200 plus ticket. And this fool is never wearing a seatbelt. He'd rather like turn his body and like talk to Liz as if she's going to disappear, as if he can't believe she's actually with him, which, you know, he's not wrong. Okay, I'm sorry, that was mean. I take it back. So Liz just really feels like it was faster than she wanted, right, to meet Tiffany, but she's going to just kind of get it out of the way. She's still a little bit freaked out that she's only 28, Tiffany's 31. She's younger than Tiffany, as Rose was, right? And Ed's 54. So it's a significant age difference. And they are in different places in their life. Like, she's a single mom. You know, she's still finding herself. She's still in her 20s. And, you know, Ed is closer to 60 than he is to 40. So I don't know. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think age is just a number? Like, do you think that love is love? Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter anything. Like, if you love that person, you love that person. Because generally speaking, I think that. And I normally would say that age is just a number. But with Ed's situation specifically, the fact that what's a nice way to put it? The fact that he prefers young women gives me pause. It just gives me pause. That's all. Marissa says, hey, Judy Lee. Hey, girl. Hey. Marissa says, love is blind. I agree. Love is blind. But again, Marissa, I feel like in Ed's situation, he might be the exception to that rule that we have because, you know, he zeroes in on young women. And I just think that that's interesting. Better Days, you are cracking me up. I'm trying to have a show here. So you guys, if you don't follow our social medias, you should follow because I post different things on different places. Our Instagram page is blowing up right now because I posted, if you guys are curious, just out of curiosity, how much some of your favorite 90-day fiance cast members make. There was a huge article out in Touch Weekly. I read it, I put it all together, I like cut and paste, and I made an Instagram post. And you'd be surprised how much the cast members make. Like, I'm not surprised because it's all in advertising, it's in endorsements, it's in the cameos, it's in the OnlyFans, like all that stuff, and the residuals from that. A lot of them are worth a lot of money. And so Better Days is like, it's the salary of his that you posted. He pays the tickets, facts. If you haven't seen my post, just out of curiosity, you guys, just out of curiosity, how much do you think Ed is worth? Like, just off the top of your head, what do you think his net worth is? Just out of curiosity. Judy says, my husband is 15 years older than me, but that is too much. Is it though, Judy? If he's your love of your life, then and you guys are still married, then obviously it's not too much. I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like it's too much for Ed specifically. I don't know if I'm just zeroing in on him. It's the fact that he refuses to have friends his age and he keeps saying that he doesn't get along with people his age. That just gives me pause. It gives me pause. Oh, Ed. Yeah. Ed is too old. Yeah. So that's the problem that I have with that. Okay. So no one's guessed. So I'm going to tell you, and you guys are probably going to be blown away by Ed's net worth. But you got to also remember, he does cameos at the Yin Yang. He's got a clothing line. He's got a sticker line. He just be doing the most. But Ed's net worth, and let me make sure that I don't say it wrong. I'm going to pull it up real quick again. Because I wasn't really surprised. I was I was like, okay. I was surprised that he was worth more than others, but Ed's net worth is $800,000. $800,000 is his net worth. And it's from just a bunch of stuff that he does, the cameo, the clothing line, all the stuff that I mentioned. So yeah, 800,000. So that's why he's flying everywhere. He's always on vacation. He can fly, Liz here and there, here and there. Hey Dasha, hey girl, hey. So yeah, he's worth 800,000. So they're in Vegas and he's trying to be all lovey-dovey, which I get. New relationship. He's really trying to milk it for what it is. He says that he's never felt this way before. And I need to remind you guys that he absolutely has felt this way before because he said those exact same words about Rose. Okay. So, Tiffany comes in. Tiffany's 31, you guys. Liz is 28. She comes in and listen, Tiffany came in and was not messing around. She came in and you could already tell she wasn't feeling this. She came in, she sat down. It was like this weird, crazy, awkward pause after they introduced each other. And then Tiffany was like, listen, I'll break the ice. You're the first girlfriend that I've ever met. And I was like, well, what others were there? There's the mom, right? And we don't even know how long that relationship lasted, but it was his wife. Then there was nothing for 28 years. Then there was Rose, and you can't even really count Rose because they were long distance, and you guys already know how I feel about long distance. And as soon as she met him in person, she's like, peace out. I can't do this. I'm out of here. And then now there is Liz, and Liz and him have been together for a month. And I will say this, I peeked ahead a little bit because I saw the teaser and clearly something doesn't work out, right? So, I mean, if you put all his relationships together, I just feel like who's the common denominator, you guys? And why does Ed keep getting left at hotels? I want you to think about that. Think about who the common denominator is and how he treats people. And again, I know I mentioned this last week, but that audio footage of him speaking to Liz that leaked is very telling. And the fact that he says that he's in therapy, I just feel like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, a broken person can't bring a whole self into a whole relationship. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to focus on himself, I think. I think he needs a break from dating. I think he needs to focus on himself, and I think he has to be honest with himself and who he is and how he treats people. Claire says he treats people like he purchased them. Facts, and controlling in that, and no one wants that. So Tiffany is like, I don't know about this. Liz seems a lot like Rose. They're similar. They both have young kids. They're both single moms. They're both younger than her. Like, what's different, she feels. And what was crazy to me, you guys, and I'm going to say it because I just thought it was super creepy. Ed tells Liz that, oh, you and my daughter are so much alike. And then Liz says, don't say that. It's kind of weird. It's like weird. And then what does he do? He says it again, but he says it to his daughter. He's like, well, you two are a lot alike. Can you imagine? And is it just me? But like, I can't imagine my dad's girlfriend, right? Younger than me. And then my dad says, well, you two are a lot alike. Ew. But I'm your daughter and that's your girlfriend. Like, why would you even, what? Is it me? Is it me that just thinks that's super weird and it's a super weird comparison and why he can't get it in his head that that's a weird thing to say? And if someone tells you that's a weird thing to say, maybe you should think about it. But no, instead, you decide to say it again to someone else. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. I just think it's weird. It's just, ugh. Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff that's like, ugh. So Tiffany had all the shade to throw. Tiffany was like, listen, she's younger than me, but she looks older than me. She looks haggard. She looks rugged. I was like, oh, snap. This girl's not having it. She's not having it. Then throws out like, Botox does wonders. And I was like, oh, the shade. I don't think Tiffany came in thinking, hey, you know what, I'm going to give Liz a chance. I think she thinks, listen, I know my dad, because she does. I know how he is. I know that this is going to be just another same thing that we just went through, and I'm just not for it. I'm just not for it. And I respect that. Do you know what I mean? Like, she can't tell her dad what to do, but what she can do is not support his poor behavior. What she can do is say, hey, listen, yeah, great. I'm being introduced to your girlfriend of 4 dates of 1 month, but I already know where this is going, right? Because let's look at his track record. And I already told you his track record is like, what, 3? And I'm being generous because I really don't count Rose as a real relationship. I really don't. You can take a bay vacation and it just be a vacation. And that's that. You see what I'm saying? So Liz tries to say, well, you know, I'm starting to really have feelings. Well, she didn't say feelings. She said, I'm starting to care about him, and, you know, he balances me out. And oftentimes I feel I'm more mature than him. And I was like, that doesn't even sound right. You're 28 and you're saying you think you're more mature than the 54-year-old. And then the funniest part, you guys, is when Tiffany was like, well, I kind of don't get it because you guys are in different places in your lives. And my dad is kind of on the way down. Y'all, the shade there was hilarious. And Ed freaked out. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, I don't even get along with people my age, and I feel young. But that doesn't change the fact that you're 54. And whether or not you want to associate with people that are your age, which I feel like you should do, by the way, Ed, I feel like you would do much better. Think about it. Like, Jennifer Lopez is what, 50? And who else? There's a lot of beautiful women that are in their 50s. And so I don't know if in his mind, he really thinks about what 50 looks like. And I just want to know, okay, Ed, besides your big bank account, what exactly are you bringing to the table? Because to me, you're bringing a lot of brokenness. You're bringing a lot of controlling features and manipulation. And that's why your relationships aren't lasting more than a month. I could be wrong, though. Y'all let me know if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I'm going to pop up my question for the Ed segment. Do you guys think Ed should have already introduced Liz to Tiffany? Or do you think that he should have taken a moment and paused before he did all of this? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat. So it's awkward. They all decide that they need drinks, which I felt like, yeah, I get that. Just everyone chill out. Oh my God, Danielle, you're hilarious. Hey, girl, hey. Danielle said, there is not a bank account big enough for that mess. Facts. And Claire says he absolutely should not have introduced her quite yet. Hey, Mishak, you're new. Welcome. Everyone welcome Mishak. She says, Ed rushed through everything with Liz. Bad moves all the way around. Facts. He just rushes everything, though. Mishak, he rushes everything. Everything he wants warp speed ahead. Same thing he did with Rose. He clearly has not learned his lesson yet. Clearly. Brittany. Oh, Brittany. So Brittany was, okay, so I'm going to do my disclaimer as always. Brittany, I love Brittany. I love that she's a badass bitch, Brittany. I'm all for it, okay? But Brittany was doing this body wash thing, and I was trying to figure out what exactly it is she's doing, because she's like wiping her legs and her feet and all of this stuff, like kind of in a bathing suit. And I was like, oh, could she not, maybe she can't take a shower because she has the sling on, and so she's like trying to do like a faux body wash. I was confused because I was confused by it. So if you guys know what that was about, please let me know, because you guys know I get distracted by some stuff, and that distracted me in the beginning. But she called her mom because she needs help. Her shoulder is still injured, And so her mom flew down to help her. And y'all, can I just tell you, I haven't, so if you don't know, I'm from Canada. My parents are from Ghana. So I have African parents, like African. And when she said her mom was a sweet lady, but also a witch, I felt like, look, if you can see this, the hair is standing on my arms because I could never, ever, never say anything crazy about, like, never on national TV that your mom can watch back at any time so that when you do wrong, she can go ahead and get that clip and like whip your butt. No, thank you. And I know I'm a grown ass woman, you guys, but there's just no way. There's levels of respect, and I couldn't. I was shook. You guys. I was like, oh, her mom must not be there yet that she's like running her mouth like that. Because listen, Mama Dukes don't play. So Audrey comes, and one of the things that was interesting about Audrey, first of all, Audrey looks young, like young. I don't know how old she is, but she looks beautiful. Hair's on fleek, the whole thing. She looks beautiful. But she really liked Yazan. She liked it because she thought he was tall and handsome. And apparently they still kind of are in contact, like through social media. She really, really liked him. And she wanted Brittany to be with Yazan. And I was like, well, did you see the same relationship that we saw? Because those two were not a match. So I'm surprised that you wanted her to be with Yazan. And the other thing is, she likes Yazan because he's tall. Listen, I don't know where I heard this. This is not my specific advice, but I definitely think that it's true. And it had me reevaluating some things as well. But I think, well, no, I read, and I actually now do believe this, that for us single people, and especially if you're in your 30s, or even late 20s. However, if you're older than, I'm going to say 25, then I think you should be open, right? And oftentimes women say, oh, he's got to be like 6'3", and he's got to have a six-pack, and he's got to have a beard, and he's got whatever it is. But it's always about being tall and maybe like financially stable and all this stuff. And I'm going to say this to you because I believe it now too. You don't know what your soulmate looks like. You don't know what that package looks like. So if you're only trying to look at 6'3" and above, and I'll tell you, especially, I'll say in some places in America, there are not a lot of 6-footers and above. There's just not. They're like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". Like that's the average. So whoever told y'all that they have to be like 6 foot and above, you might be blocking your soulmate. Your 5'10" person might be walking right by you, but you're not looking at them because they're 5'10". Do you see what I'm saying? So I just feel like don't block your blessing. If you're single and you have specific things that you're looking for, great. I understand that they got to be family oriented, and maybe they want kids, and maybe they have to like sports, like whatever it is, right? But the height part, I think that we all, myself included, need to reevaluate that because, like I said, you could be missing out on your soulmate because you won't give your soulmate a chance because they're too short. Hey, Crystal. Hey, girl. Hey. So that being said, I was surprised that Audrey was so about the height. Like, I was surprised by that. I was surprised with that. Like, so when she met Terrence, and she was grilling Terrence like there was no business. So she meets Terrence and is grilling him, but then she also thinks Terrence too short. So automatically she's got like a block against him because she doesn't think that he's tall enough. Well, you gave him 5 seconds and he was very polite. Plus, he didn't even know you were going to be there, which I think is totally wrong, by the way. I think that as soon as Brittany knew that she was inviting her mom over, and her mom got there, she should have absolutely sent a text, like, just a heads up. My mom's here. I know we have our date. Like, just a heads up. Think about it. You've been on, what, the second date, and you're already meeting family, and you don't even know the family's there, and you're just, like, coming in, chilling, but now you have to, like, answer all these questions. it can be intimidating and it can make someone nervous. Think about that. She should have done something. Like, she should have given Terrence a heads up for sure. So Audrey is like not playing. She's like, so, what do you do? Where are you from? How long what's happening in Detroit? And, you better not break my daughter's heart, because her heart's been broken like 3 times. And he's like, 3 times? What are you talking about? Well, in our marriage. It's like, oh, Audrey. Oh, Audrey. Audrey's just spilling all the tea, right? Terrence didn't know about any type of marriage. Terrence didn't know anything. He was just like, I thought I was coming to see this girl that I've been kicking it with, see if we can like make this a thing. And all of a sudden I'm meeting the mama. Mama Bear tells me that I shouldn't be hurting her. Mama Bear tells me that she used to be married. Like, oh, that's a lot of information for being here for 5 minutes. Thanks for the water though. Hey, Stevie. Oh my God, so funny. So then Brittany comes out and they're going to go on their date. Now, what I thought was super interesting is that Brittany's mom Audrey is like most moms, right? She wants her daughter to like find the man, get married, give her grandbabies, all of that stuff. And I think all of those things are important if they're important to that person. But I also think too that it can't just be about the looks. It can't be like, oh, well, this person fits this, and this, and this, and this externally, and they're not a good person. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be that way. So I was a little surprised by Audrey because, moms usually know. I was a little surprised by what she was saying, but, it is what it is. So, oh my God, craziness. So they get in the car and I love Terrence was able to like verbalize how he was feeling. He was like, listen, so you probably should have told me that your mom was there. Like a heads up would have been cool. And what's up with you being married? You never mentioned that. Maybe that's something that should have come up. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, girl. Hey. That should have been something that came up on our date. And did you see her whole body stiffed up and then she turned away. So she was looking out the window for the rest of the car ride until they got to the place where they're getting their manicure pedicures. And I was like, see, okay, so I'm starting to see a few of the cracks and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. Let me pop up my question for you guys and let me know what you guys think. Does Brittany have walls up in her relationships? Does Brittany have walls up in her relationships? So she says to him that she doesn't really like to talk about it. To camera, she starts crying. She said that it's hard to talk about her ex for her. She was with him since she was 17 until she was 22. She lost herself in that, and he was really controlling and all. I believe there's probably more to that story, but she doesn't like to talk about it. I get it. Good night, Dasher girl. Thanks for being here. Nighty night to your son. So I get it, but at the same time, I feel like you have to be vulnerable in a relationship if indeed that's what you want, right? So if you're trying to pursue a relationship with someone, I feel like you have to be open and honest with them so they can actually get to know the full you and you can get to know the full them. So when she turned her body towards him, her whole body language was shut down. Like she's not really trying to be open and honest with him, right? And if you got to look from Terrence's perspective, he's already found out that you didn't tell him about the mom, you didn't tell him about the marriage, and now your body's like shifted away to him. That your body and your body language is telling him a lot, and your lack of communication is also telling him a lot. So when they go, they go to get these pedicures, which I just thought was super cute, you guys. And any guys out there that you want to, you're dating out there and you want to take your person on a little spa date, thumbs up. You will always win with that little date. So They get their pedicures done, and he just continues to open up. Like, bravo, Terrence, for being a communicator. He's like, so I'm really just trying to figure out what's going on here because you ghosted me for 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden I hear from you. Don't know that your mom was here. Didn't tell me. And then now I find out you're married. Is there anything else that I should know? Oh, but by the way, Brittany says, she went on a date, right? During the 2 weeks that she ghosted him. And it didn't work out. So in essence, you're telling Terrence that he's your plan B, that, hey, you flew in homeboy Justin to see if it will work with him because you were attracted to him and you want to check it out with him, but it didn't work out. So, hey, Terrence, what's up? I mean, that's terrible. It's terrible. Now, here's how people who communicate, this is what I would think, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I would think dating to me means you're dating multiple people, right? But you're also open and honest. Like, hey, I'm dating Tom. Hey, I'm dating Steve. Hey, I'm dating Mark. I want you guys to all know that I'm just dating. And if I'm dating, these are the things that I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. And are you guys okay with that? Some people will be like, yeah, I'm good with it. And some people will say, no, I'm not good with it. I like to only date one person at a time. But if you use your words, then no one is surprised. But when you do this, let's say I'm dating Steve. Okay? I'm dating Steve. I've gone out with Steve, had a great time with Steve. And we've been texting, all of that. But meanwhile, there's Mark. And I'm dating Mark too. But I don't tell them about each other, right? Then all of a sudden, Steve, I'm just like, whatever, because Mark invited me to Vegas. So I'm going to go to Vegas for a week with Mark. And I'm just going to be MIA to Steve. Mark meets some other girl and ghosts me in Vegas. So then I text Steve a week later and be like, hey, what's up? You know how ridiculous that sounds? It sounds ridiculous. So listen, Terrence is a better person than me because I'm listening to Brittany's words and I'm like, oh no, I'm no one's second choice. It didn't work out with Justin. Well, guess what? It's not going to work out with me either. But he doesn't do that. He's like, oh, okay, well, you went on a date. And she minimized it, you guys. She didn't say, hey, Justin flew out and spent the whole weekend at my place laying up under me. She said we went on one date. Okay. But she says, but I really like you, Terrence. And, I really want to know where this goes and all of this stuff. And then Terrence says, okay, which is surprising to me. But again, better person than me. So they go back to his Airbnb and they're going to cuddle. And Brittany says that, she's not going to have sex with him because they're not in an exclusive relationship yet. But she might leave him with a little something before he goes back to Detroit. So I don't know, y'all. When those lights clicked off, I was like, good luck with the cuddling. We'll see how that goes. Anywho, to answer the question, does Brittany have walls up in her relationships? Absolutely, she does. I think that Brittany needs to heal again. It's the same type of thing. I think she needs to heal and open herself up to be vulnerable if she really wants to have a substantial relationship. I really do. I think that the more you hide from people, the more that people think that you're lying and that you have something to hide. Oh my God, Miss Elite. She said, leaving to give him a snack, but not a whole meal. Facts. Those are facts right there. All right, Colt and Vanessa. Can I just say, you guys, that I actually am starting to like them together. I think that they're a good match. I think their personalities match. I think that the way they talk matches. She can put up with all his stuff, and he seems to really care about her. And I think he cares about her because they've been friends for so long, and he knows that he can just be, his quirky, Colty self. Anyway, so they're going to Big Bear, you guys, and he has bought some Bodylicious paint and oils that he decides that he is going to try out, and gags, and almost made me gag because he was so extra with it. But like, I'm sure that you are supposed to mix it first. I don't think you're just supposed to take the whole pellet and pop it in your mouth. But, for as much as Colt says he loves role playing and having sex and all of that stuff, you would think that he would know better. Do you know what I mean? Like, anywho, he wants to do all this like sexy stuff because they need to work on their intimacy issues. And by the way, he's gonna propose on this trip. And so he's packing. And did you guys notice, which I just again get distracted by weird stuff, he's packing snacks in his suitcase. Like, I'm sorry, you don't need clothes, you don't need fresh underwear, you need your snacks. Okay, cool. Mental note noted. So he's packing his suitcase, and then, you guys, the other thing that took me out is that as soon as he finished packing his suitcase and he took it off the bed, his whole arm went down like it was super heavy. I was like, why is he acting like the super biggest weakling I've ever seen? Like, you're going on a weekend getaway. How heavy could that luggage possibly have been? Really, Colt. It almost took you to the floor. So he's getting ready. He's getting ready to go, and the producer asks, like, why are you rushing to propose? Like, what? Why don't you just wait? And he's like, well, without high risk, there's no high rewards. And she just really means a lot to me, and she just means more than you know. And I was like, okay, well, because you've already been married and you kind of sucked at your relationships. This is your third relationship that we know of in the past, like, few years. So what's the rush, right? Unless you're trying to, like, lock it down. Like, what's the rush again? But, he's got in his mind, so he's going to do it. And he goes and picks up Vanessa at her place. Now, here's the thing that, again, I tell you guys that I get distracted by stuff. Here is some poor editing, and I'm going to point it out to you guys, and you're going to go watch it, and you're going to be like, yeah. So you know how Colt's suitcase distracted me because he acted like it was too heavy for him to pick up? He had matching suitcases with Vanessa. So if Vanessa was at her house packing her own stuff with her own suitcases, why do they have a matching set? So Colt was bigger than hers, but they were the exact same suitcases. You know how they come in levels, like the big one and the small one, the smaller one and the smallest one? They were a set. Now, I could say, oh, maybe, she didn't have one, and then she knew that they were going to go on this trip, so she loaned it to him or he loaned it to her. No. Okay? That was just poor editing. That's what that was. Some producer said, here are your suitcases, pack your bags, we're going to film you packing. And they didn't either remember or think about that, oh, this is from the same set that we bought for this shoot. Just a little something that distracted me. So anyways, he picks her up and they're on their way there. And apparently there's a sign of a car that says that some people just got married, and which was the leeway into Colt asking her, if she would ever get married again. And she went off. She was throwing out cuss words left, right, and center. And she's like, maybe, like, if I met the one, then I would. But, I know I'm with you now, but I have issues with you because she feels like she's not going to be enough. And she feels like he throws tantrums if they don't have sex 4 to 5 times a day. So I'm going to give you the stats because I have questions. So First, she said that he wants sex 3 times a day, every day. So that's 7 days a week, 3 times a day. Then she said that he throws tantrums when he doesn't have sex 4 to 5 times a day for at least 3 hours, 7 days a week. Okay. Then she starts cussing her face off and says it might not be as bad if he didn't do all that talking. So when Colt is having these marathon sex sessions for 4 to 5 times a day for 3 hours a day, he's talking about the Civil War and he's talking about haunted houses, and she feels like he's like too verbal and he's making a whole like fantasy in his head as he's in the midst of the act. Okay. Now that we all know, I have questions. Number one, since there are 24 hours in a day, right? And I didn't do all the math. I was about to do it, but I was like, let me not get all in detail. But if there's 24 hours in the day, and let's just say as a grown adult, you work 8 hours of your day. So you have a job, right? If you have a job and like 8 hours you work, which is supposed to be a regular work day, how is it that you have time to have sex? So, and your job is like Monday, let's just say it's a typical old school Monday to Friday, you have the weekends off, regular job. I understand that we all do our different things and our jobs all look different. And I get it. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind, even if you don't have a traditional job, you have to work and you have to put some hours into the day. So who has time to have sex 4 to 5 times every single day for at least 3 hours? I need to know. I need to know. Yes. And as for a yes, that's my other question, because y'all know sometimes you work some muscles that you really didn't know you had in certain situations. So yes, he should totally be super ripped if he's literally working himself out 4 to 5 times a day for at least a couple hours every day. Okay. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't even see how it's possible. How is it possible? And you guys, you know what I've already said, right? So there are 4 things that are important. One of the things in a relationship is sex. But this sounds like more than that or exaggerated. And then the other thing, you guys, that I have an issue with is the fact that, you know, I'm not putting his business out there. I'm just going by what we all already know. And we all already know that he has sent out the eggplant pictures, and I don't know if you all have seen it, but people tend to send me stuff and I've seen it, and it's not that impressive, y'all. So like, I know sometimes it's not about the size of the eggplant, it's about how you use it. But I'm looking at Colt, and I'm looking at Colt, and I just have a hard time. But then again, you guys, at the same time, he always ends up with beautiful women. He ends up with beautiful women. So maybe Stevie, maybe he's not a minute man. Like maybe he knows what he's doing, because he's got to be doing something right, because he continues to get these women and they continue to put up with his behavior. And then you guys, he has the audacity to cheat on them. So maybe my thought process is absolutely wrong. Maybe he's like a beast. Miss Shack. I'm just saying, I have questions. And it's not all computing between like I said, 4 to 5 times a day, every single day, between the picture that I've seen and then the simple fact, and I'm going to talk about it later, but I'll talk about it now too. I just have a hard time, you guys. Okay. I have a hard time reconciling what I'm seeing on the TV with the words that come out of their mouths. And here's why. Okay, so you guys, listen. I want you to close your eyes right now. Okay, just close your eyes and bear with me, because I'm going to close my eyes too. Okay, our eyes are closed, and I really want you to picture this scene. And before you picture this scene, I want you guys to remember that he says that he has to have sex at least 3 times a day, every day, 7 days a week. And then visualize them in the castle and they're getting changed. And Colt is putting his clothes on. And he's putting his clothes on like he has never put on clothes before. Like he gets all caught up in it. He's all awkward and like twitchy. Okay, we can all open our eyes now. How? How is that? How is the same sexy beast that is insatiable? Like I know I'm not the only one that can't reconcile that, because you're between your black socks and like you can't even get dressed as a grown ass man. Like I'm confused. I'm confused. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the preview of the purple panties, like, okay. I'm having a hard time just believing it. But I guess Colt feels like because they're working on their intimacy issues, if they don't have as much intimacy as he thinks he needs, he feels distant from her. And, you know, Vanessa's not buying that. Vanessa's like, listen, you dated Jess, and Jess gave you all the sex that you wanted all the time, and you still cheated. So it can't be that. So, like, what exactly is it? And then he's like, oh, this car ride is not going the way I wanted. Hopefully this castle will make things better. And the castle, you guys, I will give Colt this. He does come up with creative dates. So they went bungee jumping one time. Now they're a big bear at a castle. Like, he thinks of things, right? Which is, I can appreciate, right? Someone who plans a proper date. So they're in this hotel, and, you know, it's right up Colt's alley because he's always been like a gamer and into like fairy tales and Civil War and haunted houses and that whole thing. So it was perfect. And the thing that was just like getting to me was Vanessa being like, oh my God, this is so great. Oh my God, oh my God. She said it like 100 times. I was like, okay, I get it. You're impressed. But are there any other words in your vocabulary you can use? Because I get it. You're impressed. And then they see that they can dress up, and she loves that he does these creative dates. And then they change. And I already talked about how Colt did this like weird I'm stuck. I don't know how to change. Like, how old are you, Colt, that you don't know how to put some clothes on? Like, ridiculous. And my notes say, if you guys don't know, I'm a note taker, but my note says, why is he changing like a dweeb? And I'm not trying to be mean. I had a question and I didn't understand it. They both come out all dressed up, and he used the Ed line that just made me cringe. I like the view line. I was like, was that necessary? Because I'm going to tell you from a female perspective, and other females in the live chat, I mean, you can back me up or not back me up, but I don't find that sexy. I don't find it sexy. I like the view. I find it like more like a cat call. Don't do it, people. Just don't do it. But maybe some of y'all like that. I don't know. I don't. Miss Elite said, I'd be turned off if a man can't change himself. Oh my God. So he jumps on the bed with his black socks, and then Vanessa says, you know, like, what are we going to do? And then she gets all clinical. She's like, okay, well, we can have sex a couple of times tonight. And Cole realized how ridiculous that sounded. And he's like, well, hey, listen, we don't have to quantify it. If it happens, it happens. But I think he's starting to see how he's making her feel. And he's making her feel like he's taking the fun out of it, you guys. He's taking the fun out of it. Like, is it quantity over quality? Because really, it sounds to me like she's feeling like it's just like, hey, can we get this over with? Because clearly you just need to get your quota in. And it's not about what it should be about. You know what I mean? Miss Elite, I cannot. I'm trying to do a show. I cannot look at your comments anymore because they are cracking me up. Question for you guys. Are you surprised that Colt wanted to propose to Vanessa so quickly? Are you surprised that Colt wants to propose to Vanessa? I'm not surprised. I want to know if you guys are surprised. I'm not surprised. What I am surprised by, because we already know, we've seen it on social media and it's all leaked, I'm surprised she said yes. That's what I was surprised by. However, I did say at the top of the show that I do like them together. I'm just surprised that she said yes so quickly, considering of all the doubt she had. But I'm not surprised that he wanted to propose so quickly. I'll tell you that. Yes, Better Days, you're right. He's too fast, just like Ed. He's too fast, just like Ed. You're absolutely right. Oh, hey, Miss Elite, it wasn't 2 months. Colt proposed to Larissa after 5 days. He was on vacay and proposed to her after 5 days. Stevie says, I'm not surprised at all. Yeah. Yep. You guys are right. Last and certainly not least is Kelly and Molly. So Molly has done her investigative reporting and has found his ex, and his ex has a kid, and she's confronted him. And he's like, holy shit. He says, that is not my child, he says. Looks nothing like me. Okay, so you're saying that you think the kid doesn't look like you. What you're not saying, and I'm reading in between the lines, but what you're not saying is that it's not your kid. You just said that kid doesn't look like you, okay? Then, what I didn't like, and you guys, you know, I know everyone loves Molly and Kelly together, and I think that they're a good match right now, but I have questions because okay, let me just go ahead and put the banner up, because I feel, my question is Kelly hiding something? I'll answer first. I feel like he's hiding something. I feel like he's hiding something because I'm going to show you what he did. He says the kid looks nothing like him. Then he tries to twist it and be like, hey, Molly, don't try to sabotage this relationship even before it got started, right? So he says to camera that he basically can't believe that, you know, Molly's asking these questions, but Molly doesn't know the story. And so the producer says, well, what is the story? And so he says that they broke up, right? He didn't know that she was pregnant. He found out on social media there was some kind of exchange, but she was already married by that time, and she also has other kids. So no. Are you guys following that timeline? Okay. Because I remember everything. Molly said when she found the picture of his ex, the time frame matched up. It was 8 years ago, and the kid is 8 now. Fast forward, Kelly says they broke up. He didn't know she was pregnant, found out on social media, but she was married. So she has other kids now. So no, that's not his kid. I don't see the science in that. What I do see is, you know what? That possibly is your kid, because when you broke up with her, you didn't know she was pregnant. You found out after you broke up that she was pregnant. But because she had already moved on and got married, you're assuming that that's not your kid. Oh, and by the way, he said, she told me that it was not my kid. I felt like he threw that in as an afterthought. Like, oh, by the way, she said that. Did she, though? Did she? Did she really, like, just say, oh, by the way, it's not your kid? Why is it even a question then? Did you ask her? You see how there's something that just, something's going on, y'all. I don't know what it is, but the simple fact that he does not want to ever be forthcoming about his past makes me feel like he's hiding something. He may not be hiding something, but the way he comes across to me, it's like he is hiding something. So he wants kids. And he's like, Molly, are you ready to make me a dad? Meanwhile, he doesn't know that Molly doesn't want to have any more kids. She's done. So that's going to be an issue. And I know we've talked about it on our show. And you guys, some of you guys think that it's not a deal breaker. I personally think it is a deal breaker. He's in his 30s. Just like, and I'm going to throw it out there too, just like Ziad says he's cool with not having kids now, we're in our 30s now. It may not be important at this very minute, but guess what? When he's like 40 or 45 and thinking back on his life and thinking back like, hey, it's going to matter to him. And I'm just going to say this, and it sounds really effed up of me to say it, but guess what? That's when he's going to go cheat with some 20-something-year-old and get her pregnant, and then you're going to get your feelings hurt. I'm sorry, that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. If one person wants a kid and the other person doesn't want a kid, rarely ever is it ever going to work out. One person's going to resent the other one, or you both have to compromise. Very rarely are you going to compromise after being with someone for so long and then realizing your biological clocks are ticking, and then you still want that kid even though you said you didn't want that kid. Okay? Plus, as you get older, you change, and your time management change and your values change, and maybe you were at the club every Friday, Saturday, Sunday like Jovi, and now he has a kid, so he's a family man. Guess what? 5 years down the road, you might want to be a family man too. I'm just saying. Okay? Miss Elite says it's a deal breaker because he will try to find a woman on the side to get kids. And Lori says it's possible. She said it's not his, but she knew it was. He didn't want to deal with that. Yeah, it's possible. And as for I said, technically speaking, though, that kid would be 7 if it's his. Fair enough. I'm just saying, why not go ahead and do a little DNA swab? Know for sure and keep it pushing. You know how easy that is, you know, we've all had our COVID test. It's easy like that. Not the same thing, but the same thing. And that you just have to do a swab here, pop it in a box or whatever case or whatever it comes in, ship it off and find out, or go to your doctor and find out. Easy. Auntie advice. Auntie, can I just say something? I hear so much about you all the time. I think that we absolutely need to do a collaboration, Auntie. I love you, Auntie. Thank you for stopping by. That's so very sweet. So I'm just saying, someone's going to need to come with the receipts. You can't just look at a picture on a phone and be like, nah, that's not my kid. Oh, and by the way, I found out as soon as I broke up with her that that's not my kid. Don't believe it. I'm going to need some receipts. Like we all say, show me the receipts. But no, Molly's like, okay, yeah, I believe you. I believe you. You said it's not your kid. I believe you. Okay, well, I will absolutely hit you up. Auntie's 2 cents. I don't know, Molly. We've kind of seen your track record, and I feel like you should be more like Brittany in this case, where you should have your walls up just a little bit until this dude opens up a little bit more to you so that you can really know what's going on. Because what I don't want you to do is get your heart broken because homie hasn't told you the truth about the truth about the truth about the truth. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather find out now than be all the way in. Vanessa says, a lot of women have just told their hubby that's their kid. Men aren't really good with biology. Ancestry, DNA, and 23andMe are breaking up homes. Oh, Vanessa. That's Vanessa. Oh my God. Miss Elite, I cannot take you in the live chat. I cannot take you. You're hilarious. Alexa, play Billie Jean. Not my son. Billie Jean. Not. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Anyways, you guys, that's the show. That's everything that happened. Now, I told you I peeked ahead a little bit because, you know, the breakup show is going to be the best show of the season as far as I'm concerned. But We'll do that next week. Tomorrow is our first episode of You, Me, and My Ex. And you guys, if you're not watching that show, I highly recommend it. It's a hot ass mess. It is so messy. It reminds me of 90 Day when it very first started, where you're like, what is happening here? Like, who are you? What? And if you guys are super intrigued by it, if Muhammad and Danielle season was the season that reeled you in, because I really do feel like that was the season that reeled people in, then you are absolutely gonna love You, Me, and My Ex, because I listen, the dude, I don't know their names yet. The dude, I can't even say it. I'm just saying there's one guy in there that, you know, you have no business being married. You have no business being married, mister. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of the night. Bye for now.